So Act 2 of Episode 1 is now live. The main thing a lot of players want to go after is, of course, the Aberrant action, or the Aberrant action. I don't know how you say that, but this is the new rocket-assisted frame sidearm. And the main point of intrigue, of course, is that this is the first one we can get with solar damage. And naturally, that means we get some pretty juicy perks on it, things like incandescent. So does it live up to the hype? Well, I guess in a word, yes, it does. These rocket-assisted frame sidearms all perform in a very similar way. There are only 3 of them in the game, and statistically, the difference between them all isn't absolutely huge. So the element and of course the potential perks are really what make the most difference on these. But now that we've got access to it, yes, it is pretty juicy. In terms of where you can get the new solar rocket sidearm, it will drop from episode activities, so I believe that includes Breach Executable, but also the Echo's Battlegrounds and the Echo Engram. I should mention though, during this first week, we don't currently have focusing options actually available for the sidearm. There is the Specimen Nest 04 quest that Failsafe gives us as part of the sort of seasonal steps. That does ultimately unlock us the ability to focus for some of the armor, but for this week in particular, it's still not possible to actually focus the sidearm, which definitely will cause some frustration. I'd imagine probably next week when we get the next specimen quest, it'll give us the upgrade that allows us to do that, but it's something to keep in mind for the moment. For a quick rundown of the potential perks, in slot 1, it can get Strategist, as well as Pugilist, Field Prep, Beacon Rounds, Threat Detector, Ambitious Assassin, and Heel Clip. Then slot 2 can get Snapshot Sights, Harmony, Golden Tricorn, Demolitionist, Swashbuckler, Reverberation, and Incandescent. And so straight away, the role that a lot of folks are going after is of course Heel Clip in slot 1, paired up with Incandescent in slot 2. And reloading shortly after dealing a final blow will grant Cure to you and nearby allies with Heel Clip. Then of course Incandescent allows defeating targets to spread Scorch to those nearby, and more powerful combatants and opposing guardians cause Scorch in a larger radius. So this is the juicy role, this is the one most players want. And the weapon does have a low magazine size at base, so to take advantage of Heel Clip, things like Flare Magwell is a good magazine option, and I'd pair up Hard Launch with that to boost the velocity, but of course there are other choices there. Another one that players will go after for the tracking component though will of course be Beacon Rounds paired up with Incandescent. And Beacon Rounds allows final blows with the weapon to grant projectiles tracking, and dealing further damage will extend the duration, so tracking on the sidearms is always good too. But with the Beacon Rounds and Incandescent roll, I'd probably look at something like Quick Launch to boost the handling and velocity, with a Pended Mag to give us that larger magazine, especially considering we're not worrying too much about reloading to proc Heel Clip. Either way, if you are going for an incandescent roll on a solar subclass, it's certainly worth taking advantage of a few fragments. Ember of Ashes, of course, applies more Scorch stacks to targets, with Ember of Eruption allowing solar ignitions to have increased area of effect. But there are things like Ember of Benevolence, where applying Restoration Cure or Radiant to allies grants increased grenade, melee, and class ability regen for a short duration. That will of course be with a Heel Clip roll, and Ember of Empyrean as well, where solar weapon or ability final blows extend the duration of Restoration and Radiant effects. There are of course other fragments on solar classes that will impact this weapon depending on the role, but if you're running Incandescent, those are some of the top ones to think about. Other top slot 1 perks on the weapon though will be things like Ambitious Assassin for PvE, and with this having a lower magazine and slower reload compared to some of the others, having the magazine overflow based on rapid kills is always good to have. You can even replace that with Field Prep if you really want. It's not exciting, but it is functional. And alternatively, since we have Pugilist in slot 1 and Swashbuckler or Demolitionist in slot 2, there could be a combo there if you fancy it, if you're looking for damage bonuses and ability energy in return. But also if you like the perk Golden Tricorn in slot 2, it could be decent as we can get bonus damage on kills, and while that's active, solar abilities will boost the damage and duration again. I don't really know if these things see a lot of use in PvP, but there is the slot 1 option for Threat Detector, and slot 2 can get Snapshot Sights as well. Those are in there if you want them, and otherwise some of the damage bonuses could be good there. But there we have it, a quick look at the Aberrant action. Definitely a very juicy weapon. Rocket sidearms across the board feel really strong. And we kind of got the Beacon Rounds Vault Shot variant with Indebted Kindness, and then the Call sees a lot of folks use Beacon Rounds and Volper Weapon. Plus Hatchling is good on the Call too, but for Aberrant action, we're going to see pretty similar roles, but focused on Incandescent. Although the addition of Heel Clip is pretty huge on this as well. So let us know what you're going after on this sidearm, guys. But for today, that's what we have to speak about. So if you've enjoyed the video and found it useful, get subscribed and I'll keep you posted with more Destiny content. I appreciate you tuning in as always today. Give us your first impressions of the weapon down in the comment section. But otherwise, thank you for watching and I hope you guys have an awesome day.